Now, we're going to get into Team Authority. We're going to get in to this whole thing with John Cena. Team Authority, Team Cena. Here's how it's going to go. Who who are a part of both teams now. Team Authority consists of Seth Rollins, the new Intercontinental Champion Luke Harper, United States Champion Rusev, the Big Red Machine Kane, and oh, wait a minute. Crap. I had him. I had him in my hands. The world's strongest man, Mark Henry. There we go. You got to remember these in your fucking head easily, but you can't. I think I've had too much to drink last night. But anyways, on Team Cena, you got Captain John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, The Big Show, and it was supposed to have been Sheamus to become a part of Team Cena, but he was injured at the hands of Mark Henry, so he's out. So who replaces him? Eric Rowan, and of course the wild card, Ryback. You know, now let me get into the first part, which is Team Authority. Okay, you probably have already heard about the big news that if you know that Team Authority loses, they're out of power. But if Team Cena loses at Survivor Series, the entire team will be fired. Yep. And doesn't that make it too obvious? Doesn't that make it beyond too obvious right there? It's just, I've known all along about what was going to happen, and I knew, when just hearing that announcement tells me straight up, hey, the Authority's going to lose. Simple as that. I mean, if anybody believes that the Authority's going to win Sunday, you need to be taken out back, shot at with a fucking shotgun, and then you be, whatever. It's just too obvious. It's beyond obvious right there. And then the things that people are so confused about, the fact that what is up with Luke Harper being a part of the Authority, or what's up with Eric Rowan become part of Team Cena, and why is Ryback involved? I've heard so many of these fucking questions. Let me clarify and let me give up everything that you want to know. Okay, Luke Harper being a part of the Authority should not be a surprise to anybody. You know why? How else would you make a debut? How else? Would you go ahead and just make a debut against some other moron on Raw? No. You go ahead and you make an impact, and Luke Harper made an impact when he beat the hell out of Dolph Ziggler and presented him to the Authority and said, I'm a team player. And then what does he do the following night? The following night on Raw, he goes ahead and beats Dolph Ziggler in the middle of the ring with a little bit of help from Seth Rollins and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. Now, is that a good enough debut? You bet your ass. Because Luke Harper is a big man in a cruiserweight world living right. And that's what he's doing. And Eric Rowan, he's just walking around in a sheep mask, lost, has no clue about what the fuck he's gonna do. And then what does he do? He makes the biggest impact of them all. He comes out there and he joins Team Cena when he heard about what happened to Sheamus. And before you know it, he takes the mask off and he gets pissed off at Luke Harper. You know why? Jealousy, my friends. Jealousy. Wouldn't you be jealous of a partner that you've been around for a long, long time? Wouldn't you be jealous of an individual that has more success than you? That is why Eric Rowan is as a part of Team Cena. Luke Harper becomes Intercontinental Champion, and Eric Rowan is jealous. All he wants to do is strangle and take down Luke Harper. But who knows? I've heard a bunch of other things like, oh, well, the only reason why Eric Rowan is there is just to distract John Cena, and then, he could turn on him at any time, and then could join with the Authority. I don't see it that way. I just don't. I like it better the way I see it, The way I see it, Luke Harper becomes Intercontinental Champion, Eric Rowan gets jealous. I see a feud between those two to happen, and when will it happen? At TLC, but let's not think ahead of ourselves. Let's think now. The fact that now Eric Rowan, he's made the biggest impact in Team Cena. Big impact. And I'm damn proud to see that happen, and I see big things happening for not just Luke Harper, but Eric Rowan as well. We'll see how fallout that goes. Now, Ryback. Everybody's confused about Ryback, about why he's a part of Team Cena. Really, you're confused. You have no idea. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Here's the thing. It's simple. Ryback is a man on his own who has no one to guide him. And when someone like John Cena comes in and says, for a guy that wants to be fed, you're being fed less. And it's the truth. And what does Ryback do? He becomes a part of the big table. A big table where everything is there. The turkey, the dressing, the cranberry sauce, the pumpkin pies, the banana cream pie, the poontang pie, which I may have later on. But anyways, the whole point of the matter is Ryback being a part of Team Cena is no fucking brainer, and it works out perfectly. So that is the whole story. That's how it goes. Team Authority versus Team Cena at Survivor Series with the biggest news of the night. Now, I already told you about one part of the news, and that is if Team Authority loses, you know, they're out of power. But if Team Cena loses, the entire team is fired. That's what's going to happen. But there's more. There's more to the story than meets the eye, folks. So here it is. If you are hearing this for the first time, or if you found out about it on Facebook, that's cool. You're already ahead of me, okay? So let me get right into it. The first part of the news, we know that Survivor Series is going to take place over in St. Louis, Missouri. A great wrestling city, a great wrestling town, and not to mention great baseball, and not to mention, I was going to say they had a football team, but they're over in Arizona. But anyways, the fact that, you know, that it's a great wrestling country, and when you think of St. Louis, Missouri, you think of two things that come to mind for me. For me, it would be Bad Blood, 1997, October 5th, the first Hell in a Cell, and also the year when Brian Pillman passed away. That's the first thing. The second thing, it's the home of a certain superstar who possibly could be the man to not only make his appearance at Survivor Series, he could also be the man to cost the Authority everything. And you know who he is. He's the guy that whenever, and you see these on YouTube, you see these out of nowhere videos of this man. And I'm talking about the Legend Killer, the Apex Predator. Randy Orton will be at Survivor Series this Sunday tonight on pay-per-view. Should it be a surprise? Here's the thing. I looked through these comments, right, and I saw this one where he says, oh man, Randy Orton's gonna show up at Survivor Series. Gee, is that a big surprise to you? Because it isn't to me. Come on. Randy Orton gets injured, he gets hurt, and by the Authority, and he's out for a few weeks, and you don't expect him to show up in St. Louis, Missouri? You don't expect him to fuck the Authority over? Duh! It's going to fucking happen. It is way too damn obvious. You see it right there in front of you before your eyes. Just like that. Randy Orton expect to appear at Survivor Series and expect to fuck the Authority over on pay-per-view and on the WWE Network. You can see it all for free on the WWE Network. You can't see it for free on pay-per-view because then you would have to buy, you have to pay for it for $54.99, whichever comes first. Now that's also another part of the news. The next news coming up, I heard that a man who has been injured for quite a while but looking to make his long-awaited return, Roman Reigns, is going to be over at Survivor Series. That's another big news as well. And it shouldn't surprise me that Roman Reigns is going to make his appearance because, after all, him and Daniel Bryan and others have been a part of this whole ridiculous thing involving the Authority. So, you know, expect Roman Reigns to be there. And the only thing that would make it even better, and I've said this, is if Daniel Bryan were there, okay? He doesn't have to wrestle. He just got to make an appearance. He got to go over there because if Team Authority loses and they're out of the job and everything else like that, and Team Cena wins, let's not do the chant that goes, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and have Daniel Bryan come out there at the very, very end of Survivor Series and come out and just go, yes. Yes, Yes, and can you imagine the crowd going completely insane when Daniel Bryan comes down there? The Authority is done. They're out the window. They're pretty much done. And Daniel Bryan goes in the middle of the ring and gets the crowd to chant, yes, they're gone. Yes, they're out. Yes, no power. We don't have to deal with the Authority anymore. That would be amazing. But that's just my opinion. That's just my thought. That's just how it comes in the main event's head. I would love for Daniel Bryan to be a part of this entire thing at Survivor Series. Can't wait for that. It's all going to take place tonight on WWE Network and on pay-per-view WWE Survivor Series. Don't forget to check it out. And let's see, that's going to do it for this edition of the Main Event Talk right here on YouTube. Don't forget to check out all of my episodes of the Main Event Talk right here on YouTube. Also, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and everything else in that particular nature. Don't forget to check out what's going to happen after Survivor Series this Monday night on Raw. Don't forget to check out WWE Main Event on Tuesday, Lucha Underground coming on Wednesday. There will be no Impact Wrestling, as we talked about, so that's going to be out of the way as well. Of course, NXT, I think their new pay-per-view coming up, NXT Revolution is coming up, and the main event cannot wait for that. And also, the debut of Kevin Owens. You guys know him quite well as Kevin Steen in Ring of Honor, and that's one debut that the main event, everybody across the world is waiting to see. Kevin Owens coming to NXT on 12/14/14. Well, actually 12/11/14, I think that's correct. But I can't wait for that debut. That's going to be awesome. Of course, WWE SmackDown coming up on Friday. Cannot wait for that. Oh, and just to let everybody know, especially everybody in Corpus Christi, Texas, don't forget to get your tickets for January 5th, because that's when the WWE Raw, the first Raw of 2015, is coming here to Corpus Christi, Texas in the main event. He's going to get his ticket. I'm going to head straight over to the American Bank Center and check out the first episode of 2015. The first Raw happened at the American Bank Center. All of us will be ready for that. Can't wait. So thank you for watching this very unique episode of the Main Event Talk. Thank you. Why? Because I can. And I want to. Any questions? Enough said. I'm done from here, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you thought I was done, didn't you? You thought it was finished. You thought it was over. You thought it was done. I forgot one little piece of information. One little piece of information that I cannot wait for, that's going to happen tonight at Survivor Series. The biggest news of them all. And the big news has nothing to do with the fact that Stephanie McMahon is pregnant again by Triple H, which is a little too much information for us. And it's not the fact that Randy Orton is going to show up at Survivor Series. It's not the fact that Roman Reigns is going to be there at Survivor Series. It's not the fact that Bad News Barrett is going to be at Survivor Series. The biggest news of them all, the biggest news, besides the fact that Impact Wrestling is going to be on Destination America, we've been waiting a long time, and now he may finally show up at a WWE pay-per-view. And if that happens, this will be a Survivor Series you will never forget. All I can say is, Survivor Series, it's showtime, folks.